That breaking news, the man charged with murdering Hamilton County Sheriff's Deputy Larry Henderson has been denied bail. Thank you for joining us at noon. I'm Megan Mitchell.
And I'm Stephen Albritton. This morning's bond hearing for Rodney Hinton Jr. showed a lot of emotion during and after the court proceedings.
What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. Like, share, subscribe, comment. I do TikTok about the video, and we're just gonna hop right into it. So today we'll be talking about, well, we'll start with, you probably seen the viral video of, well, if you don't know the backstory, it is Rodney Hinton Jr. in an orange jumpsuit, obviously at his court proceeding, and you know, he walks past this, it looks like about 30 officers or deputies from the Cincinnati City Police, and you know, he's basically we basically, you know, going to get into the backstory of it. So if you hadn't known, what Rodney Hinton Jr. was in court for was running over and killing a Larry Henderson, a deputy for the Cincinnati City Police, a day after his son was killed in an officer-related shooting for the Cincinnati Police. So his son, Ryan Hinton, was killed. There's actually body cam footage for this, so I'll put it in at some point. So but what ended up happening, officers came on the scene for reported stolen vehicles, a Kia Telluride, just to be more specific. 4 occupants, they end up chasing 2 one way. Basically what you end up seeing is, well, one, while you're running, it's going to be with the body cam footage, and the officer that killed him is the officer trailing the first officer. The first officer is trailing another guy who's already kind of deeper into the woods, and then that officer shouts out, "Hey, he has a gun," referring to Ryan Hinton, which is Rodney Hinton Jr.'s son. Because if you listen to the body cam footage and see that, you can hear that he dropped the gun, basically like the metal hitting the ground. Now Ryan is basically cutting through the dumpsters while the officer is running on the other side. You know, he looks, because obviously he can't, Ryan is not in his view sight yet, but he's in the other officer's view sight as he's chasing the other guy. And you can see the beige, like you can see, because it's a beige firearm, you can see like the gun, you can see the beige in the camera, but it doesn't really look like Ryan is like upping it to shoot at the officer or upping it to intimidate or do anything to it. It doesn't look like he's upping it. It just look like he picked it up and he just still had it in his hand, and he ended up losing his life for that. So first I will say, you know, obviously I like to look at both sides when I do videos like this. So looking at a police officer perspective, you just hearing they got a gun, because even the grandfather said it looked like 2 scared people.
As I seen in the video about my grandson, I seen 2 scared people. I seen the officer scared, and I seen my grandson scared. So it's an unfortunate incident that happened. So that's all I seen. It was like, I didn't see the police there trying to kill. No, what I seen was 2 persons made a mistake. My grandson made a mistake being there, and the officer, he was trying to get back to his family too.
That's what it felt like to me. It didn't really feel like that the officer had any ill will, and like he just went out there to kill somebody. It just felt like you said, they were 2 scared people, him and Ryan Hinton, who ended up dying from his injuries. But so that's what I mean. On the police side, you gotta think these are humans at the end of the day who are trying to get home to their families as well. So just hearing he has a firearm and then seeing the firearm, yes, when you're already scared, is going to happen. I forgot to say this detail. They haven't named the officer, obvious, you know, for obvious reasons at this time. But yeah, they so like I said, it is, you gotta think that is human nature, but he is a police officer, so you want him to react a little, I don't want to say slow. You don't want him to react slower, but you just want him to, you know, at least be able to process things a little bit different than the average human being. But Just think about it. I'm just saying, I don't know how that will go. Just seeing the firearm, just having the firearm, because like I said, in my opinion, it doesn't look like he's up in it. But if you just look at quick glance, it could look like anything. So that's my opinion. But obviously so now what we know, getting into the actions of Rodney Hinton Jr. So next day, Rodney Hinton Jr. goes to the Cincinnati CSS office at about 10:30, or 10 o'clock, I should say. He watches the body cam footage. They say he is visibly upset and unable to drive because how upset he is. He then leaves with some family members, and they say he returns at around 12:40 to come back and pick up the car and come back and pick up a car that he left behind. Then he comes back to the CSI parking lot again at 12:49 and left again. And then 11 minutes later, approximately 1 o'clock, while driving on the MLK and Burnett Woods intersection in Cincinnati, Larry Henderson, a deputy, is working intersection, and he strikes Rodney Hinton Jr. and the car strikes and kills Larry Henderson. So that's the basis of what his thing, basically the timeline of what he did the next day after his son was killed. And then, obviously we get into the video that was so viral. Now we also have a press conference from the family. Obviously the family has hired private investigators to look in further into the police racial to Ryan Hinton. And like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if the private investigators were able to figure out some more things from it, because just in my personal opinion, like I said, it doesn't look like he's up in it, but have to look at both sides of the coin, and this is a human at the end of the day. So I don't know how much they can really get from the body cam footage, but we'll see. Also with the the only thing that's really important from the interview that the family did, basically, the grandfather talks. He just talks about how it was two scared people. He kind of didn't want them to, go so hard on the officer, basically kind of like lighten the blow on the officer a little bit, like I said earlier, about just the two scared people thing. And another thing was just basically the cousin saying the only reason that Ryan was in that stolen vehicle is because he got locked out the house the previous night. So
I was asleep. Ryan, I'm so sorry. This was never supposed to happen to you. Ever. I'm so sorry, Ryan. I'm so sorry, Ryan. Just know he won't put some beater.
I don't know how much in Ryan's favor, especially with the private investigator and the police pursuit, that can really help. But I obviously, the cousin does feel some guilt for that, so that's pretty sorry. So RIP definitely to the officer Larry Henderson, RIP to Ryan Hinton too. But thing with Rodney Hinton Jr., I mean, I don't like when the police do shit like they try to intimidate people and do shit like that, because like the more, I don't even want to say this, never mind. Just the more I look into this shit, I just don't like how certain shit is ran, I should say. But I just don't like when they try to intimidate people. So trying to line up 30 deep and showing off that we got all that. I don't like when the police do that, because it's like, yes, legally Rodney Hinton Jr. is wrong. He shouldn't just went out and killed the first officer he's seen, especially when he doesn't know who the officer that shot and killed his son is. Yes, he is legally wrong and thing, but it's human nature just to be angry of something of that sort and just to react. But like I said, he's not right for doing it. For niggas getting in my comments trying to jump down my fucking throat. But, at some point it is human nature. So trying to intimidate him is what is that going to do at this time case? Well, I just don't understand what the intimidation is going to do. I mean, I really don't. I just don't get what message they were trying to paint with that. That's what I don't understand. But that's really all I gotta say though. It's a very sad case. Like I said, RIP to both individuals, Ryan Hinton and Larry Henderson, the officer. And, it's a sad case. Obviously, you don't want nothing to happen like this. So just an interesting story, though. But that's all I got to say, though. Like, share, subscribe, comment, IG, TikTok about the video, and we out.